Okay. And
I can do the code. SNURD.
what about you, Ari? Are you good?
Well, I just finished the Nearpod.
Oh, I got your video. Yay.
Yes.
Okay, there's actually a game in the second one, so we could play the game if you wanted to after we got through with this, okay? Yes, it was a game, and I don't know how well it turned out or anything, but there was a game.
What was the game?
Y'all ready?
Yes.
For your class assignments?
Okay, let's see. I don't know. Okay, link. And I don't know. It started last time all on its own. Okay, start the activity. You have 30 seconds to answer the poll question. And since you're the only one in there,
Who's the only one in there?
when the scene opens in Act 1, Scene 1, Rodrigo is upset because he found out the...
Things.
This is send a wedding present. Sometimes you gotta take the L.
girl he has a crush on eloped with another man. If you were Rodrigo, your next step would be...
Sob and despair.
Doing homework. My teacher.
Okay. Send a wedding present. Love it.
Sometimes you gotta take the L, Missy.
Sometimes you just gotta take the L. What about you, Aria?
It says time's up.
Okay.
I just cry.
All right, so we talked about theme, and you guys understand that theme is a universal idea, and there are several themes like racism, appearance versus reality, self-knowledge, identity, jealousy, envy, gender bias, misogyny. Now, I know that Aria knows what misogyny is. Jahan, do you know what misogyny is?
Yes, it's like when a man feels that a woman has no power. I can't explain it. Like a man has misogynistic views by feeling that women are beneath men.
There
They
you
feel
go.
like men
That
and women.
works. It's basically hatred of women, thinking that they're beneath them. Yeah.
Yeah.
This slide contains video. Where would you like to play this video? Would you guys like it on all devices or just mine?
Oh.
All? Okay.
Love is a powerful force in the lives of Desdemona and Othello.
Woo! Snooze! Go to your friend.
A great deal of time is spent explaining to the Duke of Venice.
Oh, hello, big baby.
Let's review the main themes in Othello. Love. Love is a powerful force in the lives of Desdemona and Othello. The secret marriage was the spark that ignited them. A great deal of time is spent as Othello explains to the Duke of Venice and Bravante how Desdemona came to love him and his story. Desdemona is utterly devoted to Othello, even to the point of wanting to take the blame when he murders him, rather than have him. Yet, Othello's love for Desdemona proves to be his undoing, as it causes him to be easily manipulated by Iago, and as a point of weakness in Othello's otherwise strict military thinking. The two couples, Othello and Desdemona, Iago and Emilia, have very different relationships. Othello and Desdemona have a romantic relationship that is, perhaps, too good to last. In contrast, Iago and Emilia's relationship is plagued by mistrust and misogyny. Betrayal. Trust and betrayal are features of nearly every relationship in a fellow. Iago is a trusted officer, advisor, and friend, and his position of trust allows him the opportunity to manipulate others. Othello entrusts Iago with important correspondence and never questions his intent. Rodrigo confides to Iago his love for Desdemona and accepts his help. Cassio takes Iago's advice willingly, and even Desdemona seeks out his advice when Othello seems to be acting strangely. Iago betrays all his trust in spectacular fashion. The trust between Othello and Desdemona is the feature of the play. As the play begins, Othello unquestioningly accepts Desdemona's love and fidelity. He's convinced of it, and it gives him confidence to continue. Yet due to Iago's manipulation,
Watching a video.
loses trust in Desdemona. And ultimately, Othello betrays Desdemona's trust by murdering her.
Dude killed her. Dude killed her.
The lives of the men of Othello. Appeal
Alrighty. Time for matching pair.
What'd you say? Oh, matching pair.
Time for matching pair.
Aria, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. It's more fun when there's people involved and we can do stuff.
I'm people.
You can't do it.
Honor and reputation. It won't scroll up. Oh my goodness.
It won't scroll up. Oh
It
my
won't
goodness.
scroll up.
What?
Gender bias. Honor and reputation. Envy, maybe. Racism. Love. I can't see the top one, so I'm gonna get it wrong.
I can't see either one of y'all, so. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can view the pairs there.
I couldn't even see the top.
There we go.
The top two.
Oh. Not supposed to show you those yet.
It's fine.
Salmon and
All right.
turkey.
Have. All right, Jahan, are you done?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, envy, we've got this guy, he's looking at this other guy with a trophy and he wants it. In Othello, you'll see that Iago wants a lot of stuff and he makes up, remember when we were talking about justifications, self-justifications, rationalizing. He makes up some reasons that may or may not be true as to why he hates Othello, but it all boils down to envy. He is envious of Othello. Jealousy, because he is envious of Othello, Othello is made jealous by some manipulations of Iago. Racism. Iago also uses racism as a manipulation tool to get other people to hate Othello. Now, whether Iago believes it or not, actually, I really think he does because he's just a purely evil guy. Then we've got deceit, manipulation, and false appearances. And again, that all deals with Iago. Think of Iago as the guy who's got his hands crossed behind his back all the time. Then we've got love, the two people holding hands at the beginning. You might believe that Iago actually, or Othello and Desdemona may love each other, but there's a question in that whether they do or not. Honor and reputation. Othello lives his life as an honorable man.
Totally.
I know. Gender bias. That's all on Iago too. And then loyalty and friendship. That's good stuff, right? So that's everybody but Iago. So it'll be a fun story when we get started. This is kind of what I was looking for. And you probably have both listened to it, right? No? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So basically, this is what I would like us to do for Act 1, Scene 2, but I still have only Jahan say he wants to do it. Aria, do you want to play act?
No.
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 Okay, not a whole lot of people do.
I like extra credit.
All right, how many voices can you do, Jahan?
However many you need me to do.
Okay, I think Brabantio, Iago, Othello, Rodrigo, the officers. I think there's only like 5 or 6 people in the next scene. We can do it. I can have a couple of voices, and I think I can pull my daughter over here.
Mm-hmm.
So, theme study. The first line in Othello is, I take it much unkindly that thou, Iago, who hast had my purse as if the strings were thine, shouldst know of this. Now, when we first get into it, this first line says maybe Iago is not trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
Rodrigo, I take it much unkindly means I don't like it. That you, Iago,
Right.
has my purse. My purse is in my money bag. His friend has the rights to his money. How many of you would give your friends the rights to your money?
Nah.
No, right? You'd have to really trust them, or you have to be really naive. And that is more
Right.
Rodrigo. Okay, and basically the whole play, and y'all have read this, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of scroll through it. This is a collaborate board. You can put your comments on here, click the button, review it, share it, write your comments in here. Consider the themes at the beginning of the lesson. What theme is represented when Iago says, I know my price, I am worth no worse a place? Think about the themes presented on the second page of the lesson, and you guys can scroll back, I believe, if you want to.
What thing is represented?
So did y'all both do it?
I'm almost done. Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got. The theme represented is self-value because in the quote it states, I know my price. Iago knows that he means more than a small price, and the theme here is self-knowledge. You guys are both right. It's your self-identity. Iago knows himself very well. As a matter of fact, Iago knows himself probably better than anybody in the entire play. He knows himself so well that he can manipulate others.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So again, we continue to talk about how he's manipulating Rodrigo at the current time, telling him that the reason that he hates Othello is what?
Somebody else got promoted.
Somebody
Instead of
else got
him.
promoted. And Iago has been with Othello for a long, long time, fighting side by side with him. He doesn't really think it's fair that somebody who went to college and doesn't have the battlefield knowledge that he does should get a promotion instead of him. And so not only does he hate Othello, but he also hates the person who got the promotion instead of him. And what's that guy's name?
Cassio.
Cassio.
So basically, college was your experience you worked.
I'm not muted. You just said that.
All right, and then Rodrigo hates Othello for an entirely different reason. And we've got, why is Iago upset with him more? Is he justified in being upset, and which of the given themes might this lead to?
I got her. See this one? She's fiend.
She is Fiend Cat. Are you being Fiend Cat? Hmm? You're being Fiend Cat.
Snotty fiend cat.
Poor baby.
Oh!
Got my face.
See, I told you she'd be a
Yeah.
fiend.
Have Fiend Cat.
I don't want fiend cat. She just slapped you.
She did.
Slapped and swiped. Swapped.
Swapped.
Swapped. You've been swapped.
Yep.
You think your students saw you get swapped? Mom? Oh yeah, so here's my burly wound.
Mm.
Surprised this thing here hasn't wounded me. You guys have boxes? Come here. I need the box from the hallway. I'm letting them play in the box now. Here you cats go. Play to your heart's content. For the time being.
Jahan? Are you still thinking? Oh,
Taking you to a box.
Aria? It's just me and you now. I think maybe we've lost Jahan. All right. So, and again, Rodrigo actually made that kind of statement. Yeah, why follow him if you don't like him? And Yago's response was what?
Box playtime.
Mm,
We have box boys now. Yours is laying down.
take advantage of it.
Yeah, to take advantage of him. He's gonna follow him to inflict his punishment on him.
You guys stay in your boxes.
So theme and Othello, and I know you already did that on the other one. What did you say it was?
Betrayal.
Hmm?
This one. Both. This one.
Unfortunately, I think that my little image here is covering something up. Let me see. Show thumbnail video.
Whip it.
I can't see it. So which one did you share? Which one did you say?
Betrayal of trust.
Okay.
Sorry, that was for you, Aunt Katie.
All right. So, what does he mean by, he says, you shall mark many a duteous knee-crooking knave that doting on his obsequious bondage wears out his time, much like his master's ass. What do you think that means? Other than what's on the other side. Don't even look at that. Stop. It shows up on my screen, so stop.
Sorry. I was messaging it for Katie and you.
Uh-huh. See, it showed up on my screen.
Sorry.
I have no idea.
I gotta figure out how to put that back. There we go. You have no idea. All right. It actually means that, let me go back to the share. I don't think I'm sharing anymore. There it is. It actually means that he's saying that there are a lot of people who worn themselves out kissing their master's rear end. Okay? Fawning all over him, saying, "Oh, yes, sir, I'll do that, sir." And then he says, and then they're fired in the end. That's what the cashiered means. And then he says, then there are those like me who are honest. No, he doesn't. He says, and those people, those honest fools, just whip them, punish them, because they're going to get their own punishment in the end. Then he says, and then there are people like me who change their face, their visage, for the appearance of duty, but they keep their thoughts and their hearts their own. And that's pretty much describes Iago. On this page, you're going to see things like, what a full fortune the thick lips does owe. And they're talking about the Moor. Have they ever said the word Othello yet?
No.
Okay, so that's a point later. It's actually, they both go with a kind of theme. And I don't remember whether the next question deals with that or not. So let's see. What if it does? What a full fortune does the thick lips owe if he can carry it thus? Thick lips will be very lucky if he can see it in his plans. What theme would that be?
Oh, do I type it out or do I just say
You don't
it?
have to. We can just say it because
Okay.
it's
Well, I was thinking it's like racist themes because of the terms that he said. It's like thick lips, which is kind of.
absolutely. So the fact that they call him the Moor, and the fact that they say things like thick lips, and later on they'll say some other things, it's very racist. They use these two characters and what they're saying as a negative characterization. We are not supposed to like these two people at all. All right, so what theme is represented when Iago says, though I do hate him as I do hell pains, yet for necessity of present life I must show out a flag of sign of love? What theme would that be?
Deception?
Deception, good. It is deception. It's kind of an appearances versus reality. He's going to fake being friendly, but in reality, he hates him to the core of his being. And then at the end of this, they say that they're going to call up her father, they're going to wake him up, and they're going to tell everybody in public what's going on with Desdemona, that she's run away with some guy. We got to remember here that women are property. So if she ran away with somebody, that is like the guy stealing Brabantio's property. And it's a knock on Brabantio's honor because Brabantio owned it, and underneath his nose in the dead of night, somebody took it from him. Therefore, Brabantio is going to get mad. Whether he loves his daughter for real or not, somebody took his property.
I'm glad it happened that time.
Me either.
I don't want to be property.
Yeah. All right, so then they call out, "What ho, Brabantio!" That's like saying, "Hey, Brabantio!" And then they say, "Thieves, thieves," because somebody took his property. And that's where we get the thieves from.
Royal thieves or thieves?
All right, and I love that each portrayal, it begins with trust. And you can look at some of these themes, but the reason we went for themes first was because of your PowerPoint. As we read Othello, I want you to work on your PowerPoint. Pick a character. Do you have a character that you have in mind?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
No.
And you don't really have to pick a theme yet. Just 2 quotes per act, so that'll be 10 quotes total. And you're going to give me a cause of the theme, a cause of the quote, like what caused the character to say what he said. An effect of the quote, so what happened because the person said that. Now, that also means that a quote you use cannot be just some little quote that means nothing, like hello in the play, because it doesn't mean anything. And then you've got to have an idea of what theme is represented by that quote. And so these are some of the most common themes. And one of my favorites deals with love, but I also like betrayal, the way he deceived people. So you're finished with this lesson. It is 3:41 and I only planned this to be an hour. Is there anything else that you'd like to go over since it's just you and me now?
Just the essay, because I kind
The
of want
essay?
to
Okay,
like
so
understand what to do with that.
all right, so when you're finished with, let me pull up the essay. When you are finished with your PowerPoint, and it's a good idea to finish the PowerPoint before you do your essay, but always
Mhm.
have it in the back of your mind, your essay, okay? Let me see if it's in here. I don't think it is yet. No.
So for the PowerPoint, I only have to focus on one character
One character.
and 2 quotes per act, and basically like the cause of the quote and the effect of the quote.
The cause of the quote, the effect of the quote. There's also some other items in there. And I'll pull up the PowerPoint too. All right, so a summary. First of all, someone wanted but so then for every scene. Now I've got a summary, and so all you really have to do is copy it, but it would be better for you if you practice doing the summaries yourself. Then for every scene, the quote in Shakespearean English, that's early modern English, the quote in modern translated English, and you can use the right side of the No Fear Shakespeare for the Shakespearean English and the left side, switch that, the left side for Shakespearean English and the right side for modern English. And then a statement about what caused the character to say the quote, and a statement about the effect of what that person said, and then the theme of the play, and an eye-appealing design. So mostly we said all of that, but don't forget the eye-appealing design and the summary, okay? And then the 2 types of quotes. All right, now the essay. Browse. That's what I wanted to do in the first place, and I didn't do it. Othello. Othello essay, Othello essay. Obviously, I have a lot of Othello. Essay.
Essay?
Probably would be easier if I pulled it up. Shakespeare essay, that's why.
Well, you know, Mom, essay. Essay.
There we go. All right, so basically when you're done with it, I gave you almost an entire first paragraph, but again, you don't really want to do most of what I said simply because other people will want to do it, and that will increase your similarity score, and we don't want a high similarity score. But you're really just telling me that this particular character, based on what other people say, what the character says, and what the character does, we understand more about the theme. So you're going to talk to me about what the character says, what the character does, and what other people say about the character that will bring about a theme. Now, do you necessarily have to do this? Actually, no. What you could do is something more like this, where you say, of course, your introduction with your thesis. And then you can say, 3 themes the character represents. And you can tell me theme 1 with 2 quotes explained. Theme 2 with 2 quotes explained. And theme 3 with 2 quotes explained. And then, of course, conclusion. There are a couple of ways you can do this, but really I just want the character and how themes are represented with the character. You can talk about, in this new one, this new outline, you could actually still talk about what the character says, what the character does, and what other people say about the character. I want that in there too, because those are styles of characterization. And I believe you should have done that today, right? Styles of characterization.
Styles and characterization.
It dealt with story elements, and it had direct characterization and indirect characterization in the lesson today.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
the
So
direct and indirect one.
So that's kind of what I was looking at, was the theme combined with characterization. How is this character represented? How is the theme represented?
In different themes.
You could do different themes. You could do the same theme. It's up to you.
So basically, the characterization of the character.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
And how it relates to theme. Yeah.
Okay, and how it relates to theme. Okay. Should be good, I think.
Right. And that's kind of why we're doing the PowerPoint the way we are. Think of it as kind of a rough draft or an idea board, if you will.
So if I use like certain quotes in the PowerPoint, I could also just use them as well in the essay.
That was the point.
Okay, cool.
All right. Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Is it okay if I think I have recorded this, I'm not quite sure, but if I have successfully recorded it, is it okay if I post it?
Sure.
Okay, good. All right, I think it'll help out a lot of people.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot. Are you going to come to the meeting tomorrow?
Hopefully, if I'm not helping around the house.
Okay, that's kind of why I set it at different times. I told Jahan that the reason I set the times of 3, 1, and 5 is that because that seemed when students were active and they answered the questions. I made a whole chart about it because that's who I am, and it seemed like those are the best times for my kids. All right, I am strange. Thank you. I appreciate that. We may visit more of my daughter later.
Yes, Miss Jubilee.
All right, talk to you later. Any other questions before we go?
No, I'm good.
No?
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. I so appreciate that you came and joined me today. All right, let me see how to stop this. Exit. You can go ahead and exit if you want.
Okay.
Well, I figure out because this is my first time leading a Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I got a cat. I got a cat.
Stop share. End the meeting.